So hi, welcome to the Nest Climate Campus. I'm Katarina Rolfsdotter Johnson and I'm delighted to have next to me Mats Pellbäck Scharp. You are the incoming chair of We Don't Have Time.
Yes.
So how are you today, Mats?
Great. It's so fun to be here in New York on the Climate Week again.
So Mats, formerly you worked for Ericsson. Can you tell us about your position at Ericsson and what you worked with there?
Yeah, so I was head of sustainability, and that sort of was including all the business and operational impacts, so both positive and negative, and trying to improve that in essence, but very much focusing on the product portfolio and the products.
So you've been on many of the We Don't Have Time broadcasts, and so I'm sure many of our viewers are familiar with you. And now you are an incoming chair of We Don't Have Time, which is fantastic. So what would you say you can bring in from your perspective from the other side, so to speak? You were one of our partners, and you contributed with your input from that side. So now working as a chair soon, active chair, you're already sort of you're starting. So what can you bring in? What perspective?
Yeah, I mean, for me to formally become a chairman, there needs to be sort of a shareholders meeting and so on. So there are some things left. So, but anyway, what can I bring from? I think having worked with both other companies, talking to them, and with one of the big opportunities, I mean digitalization, working with We Don't Have Time and the other partners over the years at climate meetings, Earth Weeks and so on, being part of this, have seen both the discussions in the big companies, how they view an organization like We Don't Have Time. So bringing that in, that sort of outside-in perspective coming in new. So that's one thing. And then, of course, working with my old peers and looking into what they need. And I think, to be perfectly honest, when I'm formally chairman, if I get voted in, which I hope, then I will start by asking a lot of questions, both in the organization but also outside the organization on sort of what are the perceptions, how could We Don't Have Time improve. And the chairman's role, I think, is more to sort of try to point out the direction, working with the leadership within We Don't Have Time, the CEO and so on, and evolve the strategy to take the next step.
So the former chairperson at Nanette Nordvall, she'll be staying on in the board. That's the plan, isn't it?
Yeah, as far as I understand, and I would really love that, because I would like to sort of keep the continuity. She's been there from the start. She knows all the history from sort of a board and oversight perspective. So I think it's fantastic to keep her. And of course I will, when I say I will interview people, of course I will talk to her as well a lot in the beginning to guide me into this.
So Mats, in the time we're in now, we're very, very few years to go before 2030, and the curves are not really bending the way we want to. What would you say is the primary role for a platform like We Don't Have Time? What impact can we have?
I think the platform in itself is completely underutilized. I saw that you had 5 million viewers on Monday.
That's quite a lot.
Yeah. So, but that's sort of 50 million too little. No, jokes aside.
I like that attitude.
I think there are three things that I would say. I think that there are three key assets that We Don't Have Time have that could be utilized even more to support, number one, as I come from industry, the leading companies in the world. So companies that really care and do the right thing for the right reasons as part of the business strategy, they can use We Don't Have Time to reach out.
To amplify, they will be able to amplify their message.
Exactly.
Right?
So if you are a business-to-consumer company, you can reach out to a lot of engaged consumers and let them know in a real way with testament that you really are doing the right thing for the right reason. Because that's, I mean, the main barrier is sort of the trust. If We Don't Have Time can amplify that trust. On the business-to-business side, I think it's slightly different. And it could be for advocacy channels, also to reach customers and to new employees, to sort of enhance the brand part of.
So attract talent?
Yes, talent. I think that is one very important part of it, because young talents really would like to work for companies that care. So I think that is one element. The second part is sort of investors, and I think for investors, especially investors that are facing or like to reach a broader audience and have more of that type of profile, I think it's a fantastic platform to reach out to a lot of people and get sort of fund management in place and raise money for them into their funds and so on. So I think that is sort of profiling them in a good way. And the third part, I think, is civil society organizations for fundraising. I think it's a fantastic platform
that's a great one,
for organizations such as UNICEF, who has 90% of their income comes from fund management. They could reach, millions of new people to invest in their climate and water strategies through a platform like We Don't Have Time. So these three things I think are something that I would like to sort of see the organization develop and evolve around and sort of strengthen the strategies.
This is fantastic. I get very excited here. Well, you will be voted in. That seems like all very confident in this one. So fantastic to hear about your plans. So, Mats, if we look into the future, let's say 5 years, where is We Don't Have Time?
I think We Don't Have Time is already the world's largest media platform dedicated to climate, and I think that position is a stronghold. So if the organization manages to evolve that, then I think it will maintain that, and I think We Don't Have Time will be a force to reckon with because of being credible. So maintaining the high ethos and sort of integrity, I think, is super important. So not supporting companies that are into the greenwashing, really sorting out the ones that really do the right thing for the right reasons. With that, I think can be a super strong force in reaching out to the public, but also then impacting policies and organizations to change in the right direction.
Well, thank you for putting this vision on the table here. It's going to be very exciting to have you as our chair.